Hey everybody, how are you? It's great to see you again. I'm Mark Lindsay and you're watching Value Vinyl with Mark. It's been a rough weekend. I'm recording this on Monday night and we are just hours away from the devastating Super Bowl loss, but I needed to do something to distract myself from the agony of defeat, so I am making another YouTube video for Value Vinyl with Mark. So I'm not handling this loss very well, but on Sunday I was nervous and full of anxiety leading up to the Super Bowl, so I took a ride out to my local record store, well, not so local record store, to hit the bargain bin to distract myself from the hours upon hours upon hours of pregame. So came away with spending a few dollars. I thought I made out great, and I'm going to share my latest haul with you. So we're going to start off with the FM soundtrack. I picked this up again for $2. This is a who's who on this. I mean, just take a look at the track listing for this album. You got Boston, More Than a Feeling, Steely Dan, Do It Again, and FM. Boss Skaggs with the Lido Shuffle, Bob Seger, Queen, Billy Joel. Just a great soundtrack, and got that bad boy for $2. Happy to add this to my collection. Not only is it a decent soundtrack, but as I discussed on earlier videos, it's always great to listen to an album from different artists, and in this case, a soundtrack, and just have a nice little variety when listening to records. On my last video, I had mentioned that I got a record with Don Johnson singing the song Heartbeat. Well, I picked up the Miami Vice soundtrack, which, my glare's a little strong there. Oh my, there's a reflection. But of course, the songs on here would be the Miami Vice theme, In the Air Tonight, Smuggler's Blues, Better Be Good to Me by Tina Turner. Just a great song. Still has the shrink wrap on. That's why it's so nice and shiny. But pretty cool. I mean, for $2, it was a great pickup. The next one we got was Pete Townsend and Empty Glass. Pretty good album here. This has two of his bigger hits, solo hits. He, of course, a member of The Who. But Let My Love Open the Door and Rough Boys were the two big songs on this album. And if you look at the bottom corner, let's see if I can focus in there, going the wrong way. It has a WMMR sticker. So that's 93.3 WMMR here in Philadelphia. For those of you who may be watching this from outside of the Philadelphia area. So this must have been a prize, or there must have been a contest where somebody went down to the station to pick up this record. I just think that's pretty cool. Has a little bit of a story behind it. Back before the radio station went digital, of course, our local legend Pierre Robert. I don't know if he still does vinyl cuts or not, but he used to do, like, once a week he would play a record over the air. It was always cool. I unfortunately have work and don't listen to MMR during the day. And when I drive home, I listen to Satellite or the Damn Sports Talk, which I'll probably be giving up until September. Moving on. Another $2 bin find was Rolling Stones Emotional Rescue. What's cool about this is that I'm just adding to my Rolling Stones collection. The two main songs on this album were Emotional Rescue and She's So Cold. But the album is full of good stuff. It's the Stones. It's the 80s Stones. So, as their library progressed from the 70s, you just started getting those 1 and 2 hit albums. And, some of the filler stuff in between was okay, but not great. But just added to another of my Rolling Stone albums that I picked up in the bargain bin. Sorry, had a little technical error there. Next up on the purchase at the flea market was Billy Joel Glass House. I picked this up, adding to my Billy Joel collection, which is pretty cool. Of course, the songs on this album, You May Be Right, Don't Ask Me Why, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. They were the big hits on the album. But again, I'm adding to my Billy Joel collection. I think I have every Billy Joel record from The Stranger all the way up through The Innocent Man. I mean, I'm working on the Billy Joel collection. The Bridge will be next, I'm sure. And it fits in the $2 bin. I was very excited to see this next record in the $2 bin. And again, you buy the records for the record, not the cover itself. So when I show you this, a lot of you who may be collecting records would be like, oh my God, you got that for $2. Yeah, I did. And the record plays great. but the cover is not in great shape. And that was Talking Heads and their album Naked. Now, there's all kinds of wear all over the album. I mean, you can see the spine there is pretty beat up. There's some kind of spill. If you open up the jacket, you can see there's some kind of spill on the jacket. But again, you don't play the cover or the album for the cover. You play the album for the record. And of course, the record is in fantastic shape. Comes with the inner sleeve as well. The big song that was on this album was Nothing But Flowers, which was a song that came out, I think, in '89. Nothing But Flowers was a fun song because it was a satire song, obviously. What's his name? Can't think of the lead singer. Dave Byrne, has a little bit of a sense of humor, a very big sense of humor. And basically the song is that there used to be grocery stores and parking lots and 7-Elevens and everything, but now they're all gone and there's only flowers and nature, and they're going to eat a rattlesnake for dinner. And just a fun song. If you never heard of it, go on YouTube, check that out. It's just a funny song. And you know, as the world grows and more construction happens, you know, you just get further away from that. But again, Naked, Talking Heads, $2. Can't go wrong with that album. Oh, I'm going to put that to the side because I did not get this at the flea market. I'll end with that one. Another $2 bin, The Fabulous Thunderbirds, and by Tough Enough. Or the album Tough Enough by The Fabulous Thunderbirds, excuse me. This has their two biggest songs on it. This was their main album. I don't think it was their first, but it was their biggest success. And it had Tough Enough and, of course, Wrap It Up, I'll Take It. Two songs that were very popular in the mid-'80s. But the cover's in amazing shape. Comes with the inner cover as well. Just a fun album to listen to. Takes you back to the fun times of the 85, 86 time frame. Next up, George Thorogood in a live album. A pretty good album from top to bottom. As you can see, Who Do You Love? I Drink Alone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer. Just a great, great song. And of course, George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers are a great band to listen to live. So this sounds absolutely amazing. It's a fun stuff for $2. Next up was The Who and Face Dances. The two big songs on this album, just like the Rolling Stones, you know, The Who kind of hit a stretch there where they were releasing albums, and of course Daltrey and Townsend went on their own to produce some solo albums, I should say. But the two big songs on here are You Better, You Better, You Bet, and the last song, Another Tricky Day. So just the bookend of the album is their two biggest hits, but again, the album's in pretty decent condition. The record itself plays great, but the album cover has some moisture damage to it. As you can see, the curves and a little bit of moisture there. But fun stuff. I mean, it's a fun album. Again, The Who from the 80s was good. It was still The Who, but not their really powerful stuff in the late 60s and early 70s. I can't believe I found this in the $2 bin. We're going to end strong with these two, or these few. Whitney Houston's self-debut album. The cover's in pretty decent shape. The record plays flawlessly. I don't know why, but this ended up in my $2 bin. It didn't have the original inner sleeve. That's just a regular, basic old... Well, maybe it was the inner sleeve. Maybe it was one of those Columbia House deals where... they just gave you the paper inner sleeve. But a pretty decent album from Whitney Houston. A great debut. Some of the bigger songs, of course. I can't see. Here we go. Saving All My Love for You. Greatest Love of All at Once. So just some good stuff here from Whitney Houston. I have now added this to my collection on top of the other, the one from I think 86, which was pretty good. I showed that in an earlier video. Was very happy to find these. I cannot wait to share these next two from the $2 bin at Quakertown. And that was Genesis and their self-titled album. Just a great album from top to bottom. I mean, look at that songs. Mama, That's All, Home by the Sea, Illegal Alien, Taking It All Too Hard, Just a Job to Do. Right there, you have 6 solid songs on this album. And the whole album is fun, of course. But the hits really deliver on this. And Genesis was really in their stride. Of course, Phil Collins was the lead vocalist for this album. He was just fresh off of, I think, 2 solo albums before this. Hello, I Must Be Going, I think, and then was Face Value. I forget. But this was the big Genesis album in the early 80s. And, of course, in 86, they came out with Invisible Touch, which just lit up. This is my favorite, okay? So I love going to the record store in the $2 bins and finding just fun stuff. I had no right paying $2 for this, but then you're going to see why I did in a second. There are people who collect records, and they do care about the condition of the outer jacket, you know, and it's more than just listening to the music. It's the whole presentation, and I get that. I do. I'm not like that, but I get it. So I got Duran Duran's debut album for $2. Yes, I love Duran Duran too, little girl or boy who wrote that on there. So they did some pen around the yellow D. I don't know if that picks up. They wrote, I love Duran Duran. And then they proceeded to list the order of the hotness of the band. So you can see Foxy in the middle. Then they had number 2 and number 4. And I don't know about those 2 guys, you know, but hey, you know, they got left out. They got jobbed out. You know, they took the pin. But that's fun stuff. And of course, on the back, I love Duran Duran. I love them too. And all the songs checked, I guess, in the order that they liked. I don't know. Every song is checked. So this person obviously has taste because the album is amazing. But again, $2 did not come with the original insert. But again, you don't play the inserts. You don't play the case. You play the record. And this has a fun story behind it. You know, somebody marked this up that they loved Duran Duran, and they labeled their favorites that they thought were the most foxy. And it's a fun little story when you see that. We're going to end today's video with a purchase I made online. I implore you all to use or check out the eBay Mercari. Mercari is a good place to get some vinyl, and obviously you're going to spend a little bit more going online because you have to pay for shipping as well. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this video. I actually have a few records for sale through eBay, and I combine shipping if you buy more than one. But this one I bought on Mercari was $5 plus $4 shipping and handling, so under $10. And that's David Bowie, Let's Dance. This was probably my first introduction to Bowie as a kid. You know, obviously we all knew Space Oddity and all that stuff, his 70s stuff. But as a child growing up, Let's Dance was probably the first big Bowie song that I recall listening to that was new. But this has probably the best side one of any Bowie album that I'm aware of. Let's Dance. Let's see if it's on here. I don't think the track list isn't on here. But Let's Dance, China Girl, and what's the other song? It's the first song on the album. Sugar. Maybe it's on the, there we go. China Girl, oh my God. Modern Love. There we go. See, it wasn't even on the tip of my tongue. I'm lying. But Modern Love, China Girl, and Let's Dance are all on side 1 of this album, and it plays amazing. So that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Value Vinyl with Mark. I thank you very much for watching, and I thank you very much for letting me talk records after a devastating Super Bowl loss. But hopefully we'll be back sooner than later. 5 years was still not that long to wait compared to other teams. I'm going to shout out to my friend Chris, who's a Detroit Lions fan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they showed improvement all right, but they haven't done jack. So, you know, and of course, all you Cowboys fans out there, same thing. You know, 30 years is a long time to wait. So, you know, we at least got there twice in 5 years. We'll see what the next few years hold. But I appreciate the distraction. And thank you for watching Value Vinyl with Mark. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And again, from Hill Street Blues.
That's it, let's roll. Hey,
Let's be careful out there.
Yes, let's be careful out there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.